Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 17th day of October, 2022, Monday of the 29th week of the year, but also today we celebrate the memorial of St. Ignatius of Antioch, one of the early church fathers, apologists, writers, 2nd century, I think, best known for pushing the idea that Christians should celebrate the day of rest, day of worship of God, not on Saturday, the Sabbath, as Judaism was celebrating it, but to celebrate it now on Sunday. So the kind of this sort of move away from Judaism, whether deliberate, whether because of issues and animosities, it could be part of that. But again, it just becomes something that is gradual. So as to make distinct the Christian movement from Judaism itself. Today's readings, there are special ones, yes, for Ignatius, but today's readings, again, continue with Ephesians, in which Paul, again, demonstrates the fact that God wanted us, to be free from those things that prohibit us from being the people that God has intended us to be. That God is the one who asks us to realize more about our lives and about ourselves, and so to be freed from all those things that weigh us down. Again, Paul describes them as sins and transgressions, yes, but they are those things that kind of make us less than who what we are. Ours is a God who wants to make us whole, to make us new, not a God who sits in judgment of the realities that we are, or a God who does not lift a finger to help them. Sometimes, unfortunately, this is what happens, is that we live in this world in which, or we live in this church, in which basically God seems to be standing there in judgment and doing little else but judging. And with Paul in the Ephesians, that is never ever the case. This is a God who constantly is going to different ends and different avenues, different conclusions, to be able to help us understand ourselves in as full a way as possible, so that we can enjoy life and happiness and recognize the fact that we have been chosen by God from the very beginning of time. And it isn't something, we are not just an offense to God. We are not just a bad mistake that God regrets having created, and all those awful, terrible things. Again, to get this understanding straight is needed within our church today, because so many times we seem to be left to our own defenses with a God who seems rather indifferent or uncaring to our situation in life. In Luke's gospel, we see Jesus offering a parable, again, which he has on Sunday already in this Luke cycle that we're in. But a parable that basically tries to get the fact that, families will tear each other apart trying to get inheritances and monies. And it happens today. It happened back in Jesus' time. And Jesus basically uses a parable about a man who was rich, who was going to save up all his money and all of his things and be able to enjoy himself in a retirement that never happened, because God appears to him at night and says, your life's going to be asked of you. And so all of these things that you saved up to have a wonderful retirement from, who's going to do anything with this? Again, it's that Alanis Morissette song. It's this sense in which, again, does God truly care about our wealth and our resources? No. God cares about us, and God wants us to enjoy our relationships, to enjoy those things that God gives to us as great gifts in our lives in this world. Recognizing those gifts and not having to wait to celebrate them, but to celebrate them as they come before us, in the moment in which we experience them, in the times in which we recognize their wonder and their beauty, allows us to enjoy more this wonderful world in which we have been placed, in this wonderful world in which we have been created into, so that we might recognize the fact of a God who constantly gives, a God who constantly offers different ways for us to experience the joys and wonders of life. And may the Lord give you his peace.